Offensive line hand accuracy drill. The purpose of this drill is to focus on the accuracy of the hand strike and pass protection. Drill setup. Place two offensive players in normal stance with normal alignment. Place two defensive players in a head-up position, each holding two boxing focus mitts. Key coaching points. On the snap of the ball, both players will snap out of their stance explosively in pass protection posture. Players will not kick slide, but will stay on the line of scrimmage and engage in hand accuracy combat. Players will use a double punch, one to each focus mitt, followed by a right-left-right combination before resetting the drill. As players throw the aggressive hand strikes, they should not break posture. Punch should come from the lats and triceps. Upper back remains strong, head and eyes up, proud chest. Offensive line double team and drill. The purpose of this drill is to teach offensive linemen the double team block when defensive linemen use the turn sideways and get skinny technique. Drill setup. Place two offensive linemen foot to foot and hip to hip as if they'd already taken their first step on the block. Align a defensive lineman sideways with one shoulder in the crevice between both offensive players. This is to simulate the body posture taught to defensive linemen to defeat the double team. Key coaching points. On coach's command, both players will stick the hips, extend the arms, and work the feet to get upfield movement on the double team block. As players get movement and the defensive player turns and wiggles, players must work extremely hard to stay hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, and generate the upward lift and backward movement needed for a successful double team block. Offensive line blocking the two-man stunt drill. The purpose of this drill is to teach an adjacent offensive tackle and offensive guard how to block a two-man stunt in pass protection. Drill setup. Place an offensive guard and offensive tackle in normal stance with normal alignment. Align two defensive players, one defensive lineman, and one linebacker in the defensive fronts you expect to see that week. Coach will tell the defensive players what stunts, slants, or blitzes to execute so the offensive linemen can work on their pass protection, communication, and handling the stunt. Key coaching points. Both players must take a great initial kick slide to gain depth and see what's happening in front of them. Before the stunt declares itself, both players must work to stay square. If he turns his shoulders to chase the defender nearest him, he's opening up the gate for the second stuntman to come through. This is what the defensive line wants. Offensive linemen should engage the defensive player in their area while listening to the switch call from the player lined up next to him. It's important that players don't switch too early, but wait until they get hip to hip, the cross has happened, and they can exchange. All blocks still must follow great pass protection fundamentals. Strong punch, finish with lockout, and stick the hips in the low seated position to not get driven back. Offensive line punch punch run by drill. The purpose of this drill is to stress the offensive lineman's pass protection technique by delivering a punch to an outside defender, a punch to an inside defender, and then giving a last gasp effort to run an outside player upfield and past the quarterback. Drill setup. Place an offensive lineman in pass protection posture as if the snap of the ball has already taken place. Align one defensive player head up and one defensive player to his outside. Key coaching points. As drill begins, player will kick slide to the outside and punch the initial outside rush. He does so with great technique. Thumbs up, elbows in, solid pass protection base. Upon the first punch, player will slide back to the inside and deliver a pass protection strike to the player that was originally lined head up. Player will then kick back to the outside and try to run the outside rusher past the quarterback, as if it was a last-ditch effort to push him upfield as the quarterback steps up in the pocket. Offensive line zone block unison drill. The purpose of this drill is to keep all 5 offensive linemen in unison, working together on the same level when covering the distance to second level linebackers. Drill setup. Place a full offensive line, center, guards, and tackles in their normal stance with normal splits. Place 5 defensive players in the alignment you expect to see that week, but 5 yards off the ball. Key coaching points. At the start of the drill, players will zone step left or zone step right. Players will work extremely hard to stay connected and in unison with their footwork while climbing to the second level. Staying connected ensures one player does not get in front or behind of his fellow teammate, creating a gap that a defensive lineman or linebacker can penetrate. While keeping proper body position and covering the space, defensive linemen will work to their assigned block, strike, stick, and finish. Proper timing and working with the man next to you is key to good zone blocking technique. Offensive line 3-on-3 zone blocking drill. The purpose of this drill is to teach 3 adjacent offensive linemen to block 3 defensive players. Drill setup. Place 3 adjacent offensive linemen in their normal stance with normal splits. Place 2 defensive linemen in 1 linebacker in the defensive fronts you expect to see that week. The coach will stand behind the offensive lineman and signal to the defense what stunts, movements, and areas of responsibility he wants them to attack. Key coaching points. Offensive linemen must communicate pre-snap their areas of responsibility. Upon the snap of the ball, the offensive lineman will take either zone left or zone right steps. As they take their steps, the offensive lineman will read the attack of the defensive player and who is responsible for what gap. The offensive lineman will adjust their course. The A-gap player blocks the A-gap defender, the B-gap player blocks the B-gap defender, and the C-gap player blocks the C-gap defender.
Couple things to keep in mind before we get started. Every block at Rutgers run and pass, we break down into 3 phases: approach, contact, and follow through. And then as we teach those 3 phases, we try to teach them all from the feet up. So feet through the ankles, knees, hips, to the upper body posture, and then to the hands, eyes, etc. But we do try and start with the feet and work our way up the body so that we don't leave anything out, and it's a systematic way for the players to learn what we're trying to do. So we'll start here with stance, and I'll bring Howard on the film here, and Howard's going to be the first guy up. And you'll see we try and keep our players in the same routine every time when they get in a stance. We want them to set their feet, forearms on their thighs, hand down, eyes up. All right, so here we go. I'll bring this up slowly, and you'll see Howard is going to set his feet. Now our guards and tackles play with a toe instep stagger. So you see him bring his left toe to his right instep. Howard's a left guard, left tackle. So we want his outside foot, his left foot, at the instep of his inside foot, his right foot. So you see him set his feet. Now the width of the feet should be slightly wider than the hips. We don't want them directly under the hips, but we don't want them real wide either, because if they get too wide, then they can't take a good first step. Now their inside foot, we want to be as vertical as possible. So his right foot we want to be as vertical as it can be, and his left foot, we allow him to turn that slightly to the outside. So you see him turn it right there slightly to the outside. So that's what we call setting our feet. Then we put our forearms on our thighs, and then we put our hand down. Our left side linemen put their left hand down. Our right side linemen put their right hand down. I think that's critical for pass protection. And we want that hand to go down slightly inside of the foot to that side. So the left hand goes down slightly inside the left foot, and the right hand would go down slightly inside the right foot. So that is how we get our guys into a stance, and you can see it there from the frontal shot. And we're going to give you a side view here of the same thing. I'll keep going here as Howard gets into a stance. Set your feet, Forearms on your thighs, hand down, eyes up. And I tell the players, you don't need to be comfortable in your stance. You don't need to be uncomfortable in your stance. You want to be coiled in your stance. So here's Big Mike, again, another left side lineman. Here's Jeremy, our right side lineman. We'd like Jeremy to have all 5 fingers on the ground. We don't really want him to have 3 fingers on the ground like he did here. We don't put any weight on our hand. That's more a function of what we do in our run blocking here at Rutgers. If you were going to go straight ahead off the ball, you could put some weight on the hand. But I think if you need the ability to step left or right, then you don't want to have too much weight on your hand because you won't be able to do it. You'll fall forward out of your stance. Here comes Jeremy again. He's a right-sided lineman, right tackle, right guard guy. So you notice his right foot is back, toe in, step stagger, feet slightly wider than the hips. Again, he's almost got all 5 fingers on the ground. We would like to have all 5 fingers on the ground. And then the last thing I'll tell you is that we take the offhand and we want to put the forearm on the outside of the knee. Okay, our centers and tight ends play with a balanced stance, meaning there is no stagger. So here's Ryan, he's a center, and we use the line as a gauge in front of him, and you'll notice that both of his toes are on the line. Now we do allow the centers and tight ends to turn both of their feet slightly out. And what that does is it puts the weight on your insteps and will allow you to push in either direction. Okay, you notice Ryan simulating a ball, even though he doesn't have one. And again, the offhand goes outside of the knee. Now that we've talked about stance, we're going to get into our footwork drills or our step drills. And you'll notice how we have the drills set up here. We've got all the right guards and right tackles in this first line. In the center line are going to be the centers and the tight ends because they're the ones who play with balanced stances. And then in the line all the way to the right are going to be our left guards and left tackles. So we line them up like this. This is a good way to do it if you've got big numbers at the camp. You'll notice that we're going to take a step to the right, so everybody is going to have their right foot on the line. And that is to make sure that as they take their first step, whether it's a lateral step, whether it's a lead step, that step is going to have width. We want our stance to be coiled, so we need to uncoil with our first step, and that's the first step in the process to generating power towards the defender. All right, so I'm going to move this forward slowly just so we can talk about it. Now, again, our players are going to take a little bit of a lateral step. Your players might take a little bit of a lead step, but the drill is the same. First part of the drill is the one-step part of the drill. What I'm looking to see with their first step is with the first step, I want to see them land their instep. And when I say land their instep, what I mean by that is the right knee stays inside the right ankle. We call that bracing at Rutgers. So they take that first step. I want to see them brace on their right foot so that the right knee stays inside the right ankle. The reason for this, by bracing on your right foot, you can go forward on your left foot. If that right knee rotates out, you're not going to be able to generate your power going forward. As we work our way up the body, I want to see their chest lunge out over their thighs, and I want to see them pull their elbows to their ribs. So that's not bad by the first guy in line here. His elbows are a little bit wide, but he did a pretty good job of bracing with that right foot. And so we'll move this forward here to the middle line. Okay, we get to the middle line here. Again, no different. Everybody's taking one step to the right. I'm going to move it forward slowly. Pretty good job by the first 2 guys in line of bracing. Not a great job by the second guy of getting width. Right? He's got his knee inside his ankle, but he didn't get any width. Pad level's pretty good, and elbows are pretty tight. So that's not too bad. We need a little more width by the second guy. Then we get over here to the third group. Again, everybody's going to the right. We don't get a great shot of it, so we're going to keep moving here. All right, we come back. We're going to do it again. One step to the right. Again, we want to see width off the line, right knee inside the right ankle, elbows on the ribs, a little bit better by the first guy here, keeping everything tight to the body. The tighter your elbows are to your ribs, the more likely you are to hit the target you're trying to hit. Okay, we go to the middle. Again, pretty good job. I want to see the knee inside the ankle. Then we come over here to the left. We want to see width. Really good example here by the first guy in line. Nice step, good width. Knee inside the ankle, elbows on the ribs, chest over thigh. That's pretty good by that first guy in line right there. All right, then we come back and we do it to the left. So it's one step to the right. We went one step to the right again, then we went one step to the left. Again, you may want to do it 1 time or 2 times. Again, here we did it twice each way. This is the first day. As you progress through the week, maybe you only do it one time to get to the 4-step part of the drill, right? 1-step brace. Again, I'll pause it here just to point out the first guy in line. You can see the angles in his legs, right? Nice step, left knee inside of the left ankle. That means that he's bracing. That means that he's got the weight on the inside part of his shoe, and he's going to be able to generate his power going forward. If that left knee rotates out, you're going to have problems generating your power going forward. So that's the 1 step. We want to see that first step, body posture. Now we're going to go 4 steps. And what we want to see is bracing off the first step. I'm going to do it in slow motion here. First, slow, right? Elbows to the ribs, chest over thigh. And then the second step, and every step after that, is heel replaces toe. And you see they should rise slowly as they go through the drill. They shouldn't be up straight ahead. This is a great shot of the first guy in line here. Notice him brace, knee, right knee inside the right ankle, and heel replaces toe going forward. That's pretty good. Raising up slowly as you go through the block. Again, the first guy in line here, really nice job bracing and then getting that second step in the ground. Heel replaces toe. Four steps to the right again. This is a good way to set up the drill when you got big numbers. Moving to the left, so we put our left foot on the line. Again, it's 1 step, 4 steps. 1 step, 4 steps. Raising slowly as you go through the 4 steps. This first guy in line here is a really good example. I'll just show that to you one more time. Again, you see how tight his elbows are to his ribs. One more time here with the 4 steps. The next kind of step you're going to see here in a second. Okay, now we're back to the beginning again. So we went through our lateral steps. Again, for you, that might be a lead step. And now we're going to work on our reach steps. Some people call them bucket steps or drop steps. And what that means is we're going to take 1 step to the right, and when our foot lands on the instep, we want that foot to land so that the right toe is at the depth of the left heel. So I'll show you what it looks like here in slow motion. We want to see the foot come off the line and drop toe to heel. This is a way to open up our hips and block a little bit of a wider defender. Notice the first guy in line did a good job of keeping his right knee inside his right ankle. The second guy in line did not. And that is what you're looking for in this drill. You want to make sure that when they land that foot, that they land it with the knee inside the ankle. Middle line, good by the center. Not enough width by the guy second in line. Okay, pretty good here. Again, raising up a little too high. Now we're going to go to the left. Okay, excellent job here by the first guy in line. Not a little bit better by the second guy in line. Landing that knee inside the ankle. What you're telling the players is to land their instep, but what you're looking for as a coach is to see if the knee stays inside the ankle. And again, I'll bring this one back. Here's a great example. Watch the second guy in line right here. As he lands his foot, his knee goes out. The first guy, when he lands his foot, his knee stays in. The first guy in line landed his instep. The second guy in line landed with a flat foot. The problem with that is with the second guy in line is that when you land flat-footed, you can't generate your power going forward. And then we come back and we do 4 steps. There we go. Open again, driving off the line. Put that foot in the direction they're moving, in this case the right foot. Put it right on the line. Make them drive off of a line if you can. You want to see them driving for width. Here's a really nice job here by the first 2 guys in line. Opening their hips to the right. Then we go left. All those drills leading up to now dealt with the approach and the contact phases of blocking. Now we're going to start working on the follow-through. And here's the first drill we use to train follow-through. It's called fit and walk. we're going to fit our players into the defender. Now, when we do that, what we want are feet outside the hips, knees inside the ankles, knees over toes, chest out, butt out. That's the body posture that we're looking for. Again, with our hands are on the defender, elbows tight to the body, thumbs up, and we're going to press forward, walking the defender straight back. When we do this without a shield, it's critical that the guy on defense puts his hands on the offensive player's shoulders. So you notice him driving off both feet, and then he steps. And every step he takes should be heel replaces toe. Everything he does with his body should be in a lifting motion. Lift the defender, don't push the defender. When you push a defender, you get overextended and you end up on the ground. You want to lift the defender, that'll keep your feet underneath you. Lift. Pretty good job here. Lift the defender up. Nice job there by that last guy, finishing with his hands high. That's good. You're not straightening your arms, you're just lifting like a forklift. After that drill, we go to fit and weave. Now the defender's got 1 yard on either side to work back and forth to force the offensive player to stay with him. The biggest mistake that some of the younger players make when they do this drill is they get so worried about staying with the defender that they stop pressing their feet forward. The key to the drill is to stay with the defender while continuing to press forward with your feet. Heel replaces toe every time. Same starting point, feet outside the hips, knees inside the ankles, knees over toes, chest out, butt out. We still want a lifting motion with the hands and arms. We don't want to push, we want to lift. And then it's up to the feet to stay with the defender. If you do this drill with a lot of groups, tell the defenders it's their job to control the drill so that they don't run into each other. Okay, a little slow on the trigger here. Again, right now he should be pressing forward. See him here? Here's an example of a guy who's trying to stay with him and he's not pressing forward. You see his hands come outside the framework of his body. That generally will lead to holding calls. And then he catches up to it here in a little bit, but that one didn't start too good. So we go to those drills, fit and walk, fit and weave, and then we get to putting the whole package together. And we start with the drive block. You'll notice what Jeremy does right here. He sticks his right arm out. When you're doing drills like this, I think that's critical because that gives you your neutral zone. You know, it's tough to train the right habits if the defenders are right up on you and you don't have a neutral zone. So Jeremy sticks his arm out here. That gives you at least a simulation of a neutral zone. Then he's going to get down in his stance, and we'll go through the drive block here. Okay, on our drive block, we're going to take a slight lead step with our right foot. What that means is that step will get width, and it'll be less than heel replaces toe. It is going to be a really short step. Our target is going to be right down the midline of the defender. So I'm going to slow this down right to the first step, and you'll see what Jeremy does here. You see that slight lead with the right foot, pulls his elbows to his ribs, and then as he lands that foot, you see his hands are starting to come forward. So it's a slight lead with the right foot, less than heel replaces toe. The width is whatever amount of width you need to get to the midline of the defender. Now our second step and every step thereafter is heel replaces toe. Really what happens here after contact is it becomes fit and walk or fit and weave. Now here you're going to see it from the side, and we'll slow it down again. You see he's created a good neutral zone, so we have a legitimate drill going on here. You see the slight lead with the right foot, elbows to the ribs, hands to the defender, strike and lift. Every step after the first step is heel replaces toe. Driving off the insteps. Driving off the insteps. I'm going to let this one play one time in real speed in case you want to use your remote in your office. Okay, here's Big Mike. Drive block to the right, same idea. Slight lead with the right foot. Midline target, elbows to the ribs, hands strike the defender. Again, the arm should move in a whipping motion. Second step, heel replaces toe, and every step after that is heel replaces toe. Lifting the defender after contact. Here it is from the side. I'll show it to you in slow motion. Lift. I would like to see him squeeze his elbows a little bit more together and continue to lift. Drive block to the left. A little short on the target here. His hat's a little bit inside. You don't want to be inside out on the defender. We'd like to be on the midline. Some people go a little wider than the midline, but we like to be right on the midline for these drive blocks. The next block we're going to talk about is a reach block. And there are some similarities to the drive block, but I'll tell you what the subtle differences are. The first difference is we're going to take an outside number target instead of a midline target. So we're going to need to move our body a little bit wider. Other than the target, everything else to contact is the same. After contact, though, instead of just driving the defender forward and pressing vertical, we want to work to clear our hips through the play side gap. So Jeremy's going to be up first here. He's a right guard, right tackle. He's got a defender shaded on his outside shoulder. Now you're going to see Jeremy here takes his first step. Nice job of bracing, right? Now this is our reach step or drop step or bucket step, whatever you call it at your school. But you'll notice it opens his hips up so that he can put his nose or align his nose on the play side number. Now, his elbows are on his ribs. His second step should be heel replaces toe. And then after contact, he wants to work to clear his hips through the play side gap. So that's a pretty good job. I'm going to let this one run in real time so you can see it and you can work with it back in your office. Okay, here's Mike. Now Mike's going to execute a reach block to the left. Same idea. We're going to take what we call a reach step. You might call it a bucket step or a drop step. But the reason for that step is to open our hips up to the left and align our nose on the outside number. Pretty good job of bracing the left knee inside the left ankle so that he can generate his power going forward. Pretty good job of whipping the arms, elbows on the ribs, and then clear your hips. So again, we've got a drive block with a midline target pressing forward after contact. We've got a reach block with an outside number target clearing our hips after contact. So that's the subtle differences between the two blocks. Here's Desmond. That's a pretty good job right there. Okay, I got a couple shots on here. I don't know if you're going to have the ability to separate the centers in the camp, if you'll have enough coaches, but if you do, our centers don't really get taught reach blocks. We teach our centers to drop and rip. And the reason for that is if we're asking the center to reach the defender, generally it's for an outside or a wider play. And if he can just drop and rip and get his hips on the other side of the defender, even if there's a little bit of penetration, the ball is outside enough that it does not affect the play. So you see Ryan here as a center almost opens his hips entirely to the sideline, and we tell him with your second step, try and step right across the feet of the defender. So it's a long second step, again, because we're not worried about a little bit of push into the backfield. We just want to leverage the block as quickly as we can. And then if we can get our hips in there, we lean back into the defenders. That's a pretty good job. Hard to simulate. Again, I don't know if you'll have the ability to separate the centers and work with these guys, but it's something we do, so we put it on the tape. Here's Caleb. Again, he opens to the sideline. Nice job of opening his hips. And again, second step across the defender. That's a pretty good job. Again, there's going to be a little bit of push, but the leverage is more important than the push if we're asking our centers to do this. now that we've worked through the drive block and the reach block, we're going to move into double teams. The tackles and tight ends are going to go work together, and Coach Susan addressed that and what they're going to do. And right here, we're going to talk about center guard double teams. The first thing we want to do is fit the players into the double team. We want to give them the idea of moving the first level first and not coming off the double team until the helmet of the linebacker crosses the helmet of the down lineman. And what you'll see here is this double team moving to the right. The offensive lineman on the right will be the lifter when we go through the whole process here in a couple minutes. But he is the lifter, and he's in the double team. And then the backside lineman is what we call the driver. Okay, and he's driving his helmet across the chest of the down lineman. And you'll notice the lead lineman, or the lifter, is going to stay on there until the helmet of that linebacker crosses, and then he comes off. And then a subtle point, but a key point, is when you come off the double team, you come off at an angle. You'll notice that he comes off to the right, and then again puts his nose on the play side number of the linebacker to cover him up. So that's a pretty good job right here. Again, this is just a fit drill to start the teaching of the double team. Here's another one to the right. Again, the lineman on the right is the lifter. The lineman on the left is the driver. Again, they're pushing through the first level to the second level. And then when they come off at the second level, you want to see them helmet adjust, just like this lineman does right here. Jeremy does a nice job. Puts his nose, or aligns his nose on the play side number of the linebacker. Now we're going to go to the left. Lineman on the left is the lifter. Lineman on the right is the driver. Helmets cross. That's when you come off. Helmet adjust. Move your feet through contact. One more time going to the left here. Again, think of this as a center on the right and a left guard on the left. Okay, one more time, fit in here to the right. Center and a right guard. Right guard is the lifter. The center is the driver. And again, a nice job by the guard of helmet adjusting when the linebacker comes over the top. Okay, now, the next step in the progression is to do it from a stance. This is a center and a left guard. The left guard is going to execute a reach block. The only difference being now he has help from the center behind him. So you're going to see him reach this down lineman, and then the center is going to open his hips up and drive his helmet, or the right ear hole of his helmet, across the chest of the defender. Think of this as a center guard double team to the left on some type of outside zone play. So this is a nice job of the center overtaking the down lineman. Again, we want to hang on that. If you're the left guard, you want to hang on this double team until the linebacker's helmet crosses over the top, and then they come off. All right, here is a center and a right guard. Now the center is the lifter. The right guard is the driver. And we want to stay on that double team until the linebacker comes over the top. When the linebacker comes over the top, right at this point here, we want to see the guard helmet adjust and move his feet through contact. The play's going to the left. The lifter always steps with his play side foot first. So in this case, again, a center and a right guard. Center is the lifter. He moves his left foot first, forward on the second step. He'll replace his toe. And then he's staying on the double team until the helmets cross, and then he comes off with the helmet adjust. Same scenario now, center and a left guard. Double team's moving to the right. Here comes the center. Steps with his play side foot to the right here. We call that a tough step. Tough step, lift. Stay on it till the helmets cross. And then helmet adjust on the second level. He could be a little bit flatter coming off the double team. The driver, which is the left guard in this double team, is working across the chest of the down lineman. Okay, one more time going to the left. A little different scenario now. The scenario we just looked at, the linebacker was behind the down lineman. Now we have a linebacker in front of the down lineman, which means we're going to have to come off the double team a little bit quicker and with a little bit flatter angle. Double team still moving to the left. Still want to move our left foot first if I'm the center. And the right guard is still going to work he's going to still work his helmet across the chest of the down lineman. Here's the left guard. I should say, here's the center. Tough step, lift. Tough step, lift, go. Tough step, lift, go. And then the right guard works across the chest of the down lineman. Nice angle coming out of their flat. Same scenario going to the right. Center and a left guard. The center's going to tough step and lift. And because the linebacker's already over the top, we got to come off flat. Nice job. The reason for coming off flat, again, think of this as a center and a left guard. The reason for coming off flat is to take away the run-through lane for the linebacker. You got to get your hat in front to stop the penetration of that linebacker. Now we got a stacked linebacker, center and a right guard. As the center steps to his left, the down lineman slants in the direction of the play. At that point, we want to helmet adjust and run our feet. So again, this is a center and a right guard, double team moving to the left. The center steps with his left foot. The down lineman's coming with him. We helmet adjust and run our feet. Again, you got to helmet adjust to stop the penetration of that down lineman. And then the right guard, as he opens his hips, he's working across that down lineman. The down lineman goes away. As that down lineman goes away, you want to come right off his hip, climbing to the second level. You never want to chase somebody who's running away from you. That's the key coaching point for the right guard. You step to double team that down lineman. He moves away from you. Get your eyes up to the second level. Don't chase something moving away from you. Pretty good job here on the movement. Same scenario here, center and a right guard. Going to move, double team moving to the left. Left foot first. Could have been a little bit wider step by the center in this picture. But as that down lineman comes with him, helmet adjust and run your feet. And by helmet adjust, we mean drop your hat in front of the defender. That stops the penetration. Here's some shots of some other double teams in a half line drill that we do with the D line. Here's a center guard double team. You see a nice job here by the center. Double team moving to the left. Tough step, lift. You see the right guard working to overtake the double team. We overlap our double teams so that we don't get split by the down lineman. The left guard in this picture is executing a reach block, working to clear his hips through the play side gap. Here's another shot. Nice job by the center. Tough step, lift. Right guard working across his chest. Nice job by the left guard on the reach block. Clear your hips. Nice job. Center and a right guard again. Notice the right guard working to drive his hat across the chest of the defender. Overlapping the center. If you overlap your double teams, you won't get split. Nice job by the center. Tough step, lift. Nice job by the left guard on the reach block. Clear your hips through the play side gap. Center and the left guard. Tough step, lift. Center and the left guard again. The next part of the practice plan, we're going to move to pulling. We pull two different ways. We have a skip pull and we have a trap pull. I think the first one you're going to see come up here is going to be a skip pull. We use the skip pull to block a second level player. So it would be a guard pulling for a linebacker or a tackle pulling for a linebacker on some type of gut play, tackle trap play, whatever that might be, toss crack. Then here's how we do it. This is going to be a left tackle pulling to the left on some type of toss sweep. We're going to drive off our left foot, and we're going to pull our right foot behind our left foot. And we're going to get as much depth and width as we can from the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to let this go here for a second, and you're going to see it from this angle, and then you're going to see it from the side angle, so you really get a good idea of what we're looking for. But again, we're driving off the left foot. Notice the left foot driving into the ground, and notice the right foot pulling behind the left foot. The one thing you want to avoid with the younger players is having them pull their shoulders all the way back and throw their momentum going backwards. Pretty good job right there. Here we go to the right. Again, notice the drive off the right foot. pull the left foot behind, skip pull to the right. Here it is from a good angle right here. Notice he keeps his chest over his belt as he pulls his body back with his feet. This player here gets a little too much height and not enough depth and width, right? We don't, the up and down I would like him to play as close to the ground as he can. So a little too much height on that pull. Here's a skip pull to the left, driving off the left foot. That's a nice job right here. Driving off, pull the right foot behind the left foot. Again, as much depth and width as you can get off the line of scrimmage. We use this kind of pull anytime we're pulling for a linebacker. This type of pull allows you to keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage the entire time you're pulling. I don't have any practice film of a trap pull. I do have a couple game clips here to show you. The key elements of the trap pull for us are to open our hips to the sideline, and if we're trapping to the right, we use our right shoulder. So what I tell them is pull right, pull left, trap left, and we would like to work on an angle back into the line of scrimmage. If we're going to adjust anywhere, we want to be adjusting into the backfield. We don't want to have to adjust into the line of scrimmage. That means we weren't tight enough on the pull. Here's our left guard executing a trap pull. Nice job of opening his hips to the sideline, working into the line of scrimmage, and again, pull right, trap right. So he's going to trap him with his right shoulder. And a nice job of moving his feet through contact. I got one more clip to show you of this. I think it's going to be the left guard again, pulling to the right. He'll end up trapping the 3 technique coming outside here. Again, pull right, trap right. And the guy kind of undercuts him here, but you get the idea. We want to be inside out, and if we're going to adjust anywhere, we're going to adjust back into the backfield. Good angle, inside out. The fullback fits inside, and we got a nice counter play. So again, I don't have any practice film to show you, but those are the key elements of the trap pull. And I think you could set that drill up the same way we set up the skip pull drill, and you can even put a defender out there in front for sure in either of those drills.
On day one, we're going to introduce the stance. We always start with our feet slightly wider and shoulder width apart. Okay, we'll drop down and put our elbows on knees. All right, if you're right guard or right tackle, you'll put your right hand out in front of your right big toe. If you're left guard or left tackle, you'll reach out and put your hand in front of your left big toe. Okay, we want a good balanced stance. All right, these guys on this side, right guard and right tackle, left guard and left tackle as they face us. I want a balanced stance. Okay, the weight should be equally distributed. 33, 33, 33 and a third, right in the middle. Okay, from this stance, you should be able to run block, pass block, or pull. Now you can see it from the ground level. As you go to put your hand down, slide your foot back. At Georgia, we teach a toe to instep relationship. So our toe to our instep. The next drill we do on day one, or we do this every day as a warm-up drill, is a duck demeanor drill. Okay, this encompasses both run and pass movements, run and pass blocking movements. We always start with things very quick, so I'll tell them to break down, and they'll pop down quickly. All right, then we will shuffle side to side. The definition of a shuffle is if my right foot goes 6 inches, my left foot goes 6 inches. I want tight feet to the ground. All right. When we're side to side, I want our hands up in front of our face like you can see the center doing here and the left guard. We want to keep a good wide base, and we want to press off the back foot. It's not necessarily reaching with our play side foot, but pressing off the back foot. So we'll go side to side, and then we'll kick. This is like a pass set we're taking. We'll kick, we'll go back, then we'll post set up, which is an inside set. All right. We'll duck walk forward and backwards, and then they sprint out. Snap down quickly, side to side, kick set, post set. We really want to get our elbows in tighter than we're doing here. The next drill we're doing is the angle board drill. On this drill, at first we want to check their stance. Make sure they got a good stance like we talked about a while ago. And we're training our feet not to cross over on the inside zone play. It's very important that the offensive lineman have a good wide base. All right, you want to put your foot, all right, all these guys here, when we're zoning to our left, you want to put your left big toe at the point of the board. You're going to take a slight settle step and duck walk down the board. We'll go full speed for 5 yards, and then we'll go form up on the other boards. We want to keep our elbows tight to our sides. We want tight feet, get as many steps in the ground as we can. Okay, now the next step in our progression is what we call down and reach. Okay, 2 of the guys in this drill will be executing a down block, and the other 3 will be executing a reach block. So here, the center, the guy in the middle, the left guard and left tackle are blocking a zone, just like we had a while ago. It's a zone to the left. They want to settle and get their hat on the play side number and just press the guy, cover him up, and press him down the line of scrimmage. The right guard and right tackle are doing a down block, okay? So they're going to step, foot to crotch, hat to the V of the neck, get strong with their outside hand, and it'd be like they're blocking down and someone's pulling. So you can see the left side, how they're putting their hat play side number. You do not want to cross over the board like the left tackle does here. You want tight feet down the line of all the way down the board. Good job by the left guard here. Really fast, tight feet. When you're looking at a lineman from behind, you shouldn't see their elbows, okay? You want their elbows in tight, their thumbs up, their hands inside. We sprint back. The main thing we want to teach here at the University of Georgia is people play with great effort. So that's the reason we sprint back. Here's a ground view of going the other way. So the center, the right guard and right tackle are zone blocking, whereas the left tackle and left guard are blocking a down block. Get strong with your outside hand. Step foot to crotch, hat to the V of the neck. Get strong with your outside hand. Sprint back with effort. Here's the left tackle zoning. See him put his hat on a play side number. Hands should go to the armpits of these dummies. Don't cross over. Have a base, but good effort. The next drill we'll do is the T-boards versus the down lineman. Now, what we're trying to simulate in this drill for the center, right guard, and right tackle is a very tight zone play, okay? The guy's almost head up us in alignment. These are the steps you would take. You take a slight settle step. Your second step gets into the ground as quick as it can, and you want to shoot your hat and hands as hard as you can, drive the guy off the ball, okay? The left side, they're in a gap scheme, meaning we're blocking down, okay? We're blocking down, we're pulling somebody from the backside, such as a power play. So the left tackle is going to T-board to the right and get right down the middle of the guy. We sprint back. Okay, now we'll offset to the right. Now we're going to T-board step to the left. Offset right, T-board left versus a down lineman. You want to shoot your hat and hands. I really like to see us rolling our hips. When I blow the whistles when they sprint back. You can see the settle step. Hats go, the hands go right to the armpit. Now let's lock the guy out and press him. On a tight zone play, it's very important to get 2 steps in the ground as quick as you can. I'd like us to be a little more violent with our hands. But good job having a good base. Now, the next drill is T-boards versus a linebacker. Okay? Very similar as T-board versus D lineman. But now you've got to carry your pad level lower for a longer period of time. We set the linebackers at 5-yard depth. They're offset 2 yards, and they're going to shuffle over and give these linemen a shot. Okay? We're going to zone to our right, all right, and we want to run through the linebackers. We don't want to squat on linebackers. We still want to shoot our hat and hands inside and drive the guy with a base. But this drill is to teach linemen not to squat on linebackers, learn how to carry their pads low for a longer period of time, and explode right under the linebacker's chin. You can see a side view. Make sure we have a good base on contact. It's a mistake we make a lot, and the linebacker can shuck us. We do this drill both ways, just like we did versus the down lineman. Okay, day 2. Every day, as I said before, we start with a duck demeanor drill. You saw it, same drills we did before. All right, on day 2, we're going to work the shoots. The first thing we want to do in the shoots is teach the offensive lineman what it feels like to get in a good fit position, okay? So we're down in the fit position. The guys on defense, all right, put their hands under the elbows of the offensive lineman, all right? They should bend their knees like a linebacker, put their hands under him to support him. The offensive line, I want you to bend your knees, all right? I want your elbows in tight. I want your hands in his chest. I want you to not have your head down or have it back too far. It's almost like you're looking through your eyebrows. Okay, this way you won't hurt your neck. The command for this, I'll say fit up, right foot drive. Okay, and now when I give the snap count, they'll step with their right foot. We'd really, and this they're going with their left here. We'd really want to snap and roll our hips, all right, and press the guy. Same thing as all our drills, we sprint back with effort. Here you can see it. This is what the fit should look like. Good flat back. Our knees are bent. Elbows in tight. We should start the drill by rolling our hips. Then we're going to get our feet in the ground as quick as we can. Take a good, quick step. Right here, we're stepping with our left foot. Try to get 2 steps in the ground as quick as you can and press the guy. Elbows in tight. We'll do this drill. I'll say fit up, right foot drive. They'll go, then they'll come back. I'll say fit up, left foot drive. Stepping with your right first, your left second. All right, so we've taught them what the fit is. Now we want to get from our stance, all right, to that fit drill. So the next drill is step to the fit, all right? And step to the fit, I want to come off the ball. I'm in my stance. I want to get 2 steps in the ground. I want to explode into this guy with my hat and hands and drive him for about 2 yards and then get back in the fit position. So we come off the ball. We're all stepping with our left foot here. Shoot hat and hands. And bend their knees back in the fit position. I'll release them by blowing the whistle. They should stay down in the fit until I blow the whistle. Here's a side view of it. Hands go right to the armpits. Notice how he's looking through his eyebrows. He's not hitting with the top of his head. He's not hitting with just his face. Hitting more with his forehead. Get 2 steps in the ground as quick as you can. Now we're fit up. Bend your knees. These guys have to be really firm on defense or the drill won't work. Now we put it all together. All right? We're putting it all together. Right foot drive. So we're going to come off the ball. We're going to explode into the guy. Hat and hands. We're coming off the ball with a good, now we're into the fit, and we finish with a drive. Notice we all should have a good base, good wide base. Press the guy, then we sprint back. So in the shoots, we do the fit, the step to fit, then we put it all together with a drive. The next drill we do is a reach and cutoff drill. Okay? We're just teaching a basic reach block. Now, a while ago, we did the drill where we zone with the boards. Now I want to see if they can keep a good wide base without the boards down. So we're going to get 2 steps in the ground, shoot our hat to the play side number, and press the guy. We don't want to try to wheel the guy. We're just trying to cover the guy up and press him and let the back make a move off of us. This would be blocking the inside zone to the right. 79 is the right tackle, 60 is the right guard. Now here's the center. Now with the center, on the play side zone, okay, with the right guard and right tackle, we don't want them to ever cross their feet. That's why they should have a good base here. The center at times, because the guy's so close to him, is going to have to cross his feet. So you can see the center crossing over here. He's going to shoot his hat, play side number, and press the guy. This is a good job by the right guard, number 60, getting 2 steps in the ground and keeping a good wide base. You can see his hat placement. Press those. You can see him squeezing his elbows back inside. You don't want to see the elbows from behind. They want to be in tight. Elbows in tight, thumbs up. See the center crossing over and pressing the guy. Now, backside, that was the reach part of this drill. Now, backside, this is an 18-inch cutoff. You want to pick out a spot 18 inches inside of the defender's foot. This is the left guard and the left tackle. Okay? The ball's inside. So here, pick out a spot 18 inches inside, and you want to run a 40-yard dash through that spot. Okay? You want to open, cross over, and rip your left shoulder underneath. The ball would be going to the right here, and this is a backside cutoff. Here you can see it from ground level. You can see how number 77 here is taking a drop step to get some depth, crosses over, then rip. At times we'll do the same thing and cut backside. 60 is the right guard, 79 is the right tackle. 18-inch cutoff. The next drill we'll do is teaching how to pull. This is when we're pulling to trap or pulling to kick out a backer outside the box. The way we do it, we got 5 boards here. I want your heels even, your near heel to the board even with the back of that board, okay? I'll give a command, a set hike, all right, and they're going to take the initial step that we do on pulling. When we pull, we teach to put your mental weight on the right foot, okay? That way there's no false steps. We press off, here we're pulling to our left, so we press off our right foot, and we will swing our elbow back. Okay, some people use a term like cranking a lawnmower or just swinging your arm as hard as you can. You can see 60's elbow coming back pretty good. We want to point our toe down the line, all right, the direction we're going to run. So, first one step. All right, they get back in their stance, give the command, 1 step. On the third one, we run, full speed. We're running and going knocking the dummy down. Here you can see how we want them to point their toe down the line of scrimmage. The 2 guards are doing a pretty good job. The reason we say we're going to point our toe down the line of scrimmage is we're opening our hips where we can run and get a little depth. Again, we'll do 2 with just 1 step, and then on the third one, we're sprinting. So that's pulling to the left. Now we're pulling to the right. On the command, they really rip that elbow back, pointing your toe down the board. They'll do 2 of them that are 1 step, and on the third one, we're sprinting. On day 3, we're going to introduce our pass fundamentals, okay? We'll always start with our sets, our pass sets. The centers are not in this drill right here, but we have the right guard, right tackle, 60 and 79, the left guard and left tackle, 71 and 77. We start out with the guy head up us, okay? The ball's in between 71 and 60. We start out, the guy's nose to nose on us. Here we teach them to take a post set, okay? The relationship we want to end up with is where our outside eye is on his inside eye, okay? To do that, we got to take a post set, which is a slight inside set. Number 77 does a pretty good job here. Post inside, his left eye would be on the defender's, also his left eye. Our outside eye is on his left inside eye. We want to have our knees bent, our hands go to the chest to strike. So we start out head up. Then we'll shade the defenders. All of them will shade to our left. So on the left side, for me to have my outside eye on his inside eye, I'm going to take a slight kick set, carrying my weight inside. 77, the left tackle, does a good job. 71 is a little overset here. Now, over here, the right guard and right tackle, 60 and 79, are going to take a post set. Okay, when a guy is already inside of you, we teach him to try to get at least nose to nose. If we go all the way where our outside eye is on his inside eye, it's too big of set. Our feet are off the ground too long. Now we'll shade them to our right. So the right side is taking a slight kick set, carrying your weight inside, being inside out. The left side is post setting, working to get nose to nose. Here's a good angle. This will be a post set. Good job by this tackle. Slightly up and in, staying square. My outside eye is on his inside eye. Now the guy's head up or inside. I'm going to take a post set, go to get nose to nose. Notice his hand placement, striking the breastplate. Now he's outside, I'll take a slight kick set. So if he's head up or inside, we post set. If he's slightly outside, we kick set. The way we teach our sets, the further away the guy is from us, the wider the defender is, the deeper we'll set. The closer he is to us, the shorter we'll set. The next 4 drills are the movement part of pass protection. Okay? The first drill we do is a mirror drill. The coaching points on this drill is we want to break down like a linebacker. Bend your knees. We put our hands behind our back and lock to our wrist. We tell the defender is going to run cone to cone. But one of the main coaching points for the offensive lineman is pick out a target. We want big eyes on the target. Pick out a corner of his number and stare at that. Don't get caught up in his head or all the movement. You follow his core, and you'll be right. Again, we want to shuffle here. The definition of a shuffle is my right foot moves 6 inches, my left foot moves 6 inches. I want to press off my back foot. I want to always keep a good wide base. Okay, when it gets time to change directions, I don't want to click my heels together. A lot of guys will do that. I want to press off the back foot. Stick your foot in the ground when you change directions. And press off the back foot. So good job by the guy here on the left, 77. Good tight feet to the line of scrimmage. We want body control. The next drill we'll do is the bull drill. All right, this is learning how to stop a bull rusher from just running over you. The way we teach it is we always start, we break down, good football position. The offensive guy will start with his hands outside. The defender will have his hands inside. On the command to start, we replace our hands, and we always replace them outside and come back up underneath. I tell the defender just put his hands outside now, and he's going to bull rush him. All right? He's just going to walk steady or press him really steady, bullying the guy back. Okay? We want to give ground grudgingly. We want to fight it as hard as we can. We want to stay off our toes. We want all our cleats in the ground. As he bulls us, after about 3 yards, I'll tell him to pop it. This is what happens naturally when a guy catches you in a bull rush at times. Now you got to throw out your anchor. All right, so we start with our hands outside. We replace. Now give ground grudgingly. Get all your cleats in the ground. All right, we pop it at the end. Notice how we replace. From outside, then back up underneath. Hands inside wins. Okay, the next drill we do is a push-pull drill. This drill is a body control drill. One of the hardest things to teach linemen is to have great body control. Okay, sometimes they get out of control, they're floppy. But what we do here, we break down like a linebacker. We put our hands behind our back and lock our wrist. Okay, on defense, you take your right hand and put it behind his neck. The left hand is on his shoulder. And now we'll push the offensive guy back, and then we'll pull him to us. And what we want to do, when he goes to bull us back or push us back, we want to arch our back and fight pressure. When he pulls us, we want to sink our tail and walk up into him with tight feet. It's like throwing out an anchor. He pulls, we sink our tail. He bulls, we arch our back and fight it. We try to get the offensive lineman not to be floppy when we do this. All right? Be solid. Telephone pole right down the center of your body. The next drill we do is a combo drill. We put it all together. Now we're combining the mirror, the bull, and the push-pull. We start out in a down stance, a three-point stance, okay? And we want to jump the guy. This is like play-action pass for us. We're short-setting the guy. So we jump him. We shoot our hands inside, okay? The defender will go side to side with us. That's the mirror part. Then he'll push us backwards. Then he'll pull us. That's the push-pull part, okay? We'll put it all together. As this drill advances, Okay, you can incorporate a spin and a rip and some things like that. But when we first start the drill, we just want to go side to side, backwards and forwards. You want to be very strong with your hands, okay? You want to control the drill with your hands. If the guy is going to your right, okay, he's going to his right here, press hard with your right hand. He goes left, press hard with your left. Control the drill with your feet and hands. We always want to be intense with our feet and hands in pass protection. Okay, now in day 4, we're going to start our punch part of pass protection. Okay, the first thing we're going to teach is how to strike. We call the drill punch away. Okay, we break down like a linebacker, and we put our hands up on the defender's chest. When we're not in pads, we have the dummies here. It's very important for the defender to hold the dummy very tight to his chest. You don't want it to be loose. Okay, we start the drill by pushing away. And then we want to strike the guy, okay? It's like a 6-inch jackhammer. Strike him. When you're doing a good job, you'll see his head pop back. Then each time, we'll strike and reset. Start the drill, you push off, strike, strike. Okay, from this side view, you can see we want to strike from almost a 60% extension to 90% extension. And this is just teaching the initial strike. What we want to do as offensive linemen in pass protection is strike the guy and stop his initial charge and make him start over. The next drill we'll do in our pass progression is what we call A to B. We're going to see how quick our hands can get from point A to point B. All right, here we're in an up stance. It's like it's 3rd and long. Everybody knows we're throwing the ball, so we're up. We want to take a quick set, a quick pass set like we talked about earlier, okay? And we want to strike the defender. The defender, I tell this guy, pretend you have a Louisville Slugger in your hand, and you're going to hit the guy right in the face. Swing it as hard as you can. So now we're going to take a set and punch. This is teach us to take a good pass set and get our hands up. Some guys take a set and they leave their hands down, and the defender gets on us too quick. This is just taking a set and getting their hands up. Make sure you teach them to take a good pass set. They should widen that foot about 6 inches. Here, both these guys are kick setting. If he's a left tackle, the guy will be to his left. If he's a right tackle or right guard, the guy would be to his right. The way we do the drill, we'll do 2 from the up stance, 2 from the up stance, 2 from the down stance. The next drill we do is teaching how to keep our hips square when we take a pass set and the guy's rushing. So I have these 5 boards on a 45-degree angle. We really feel like if we can, especially for our tackles, if we can get 3 good kicks in the ground with our hips semi-square, the pocket will always be wide enough for the quarterback to get the ball off. When you turn your hips in pass protection, you give the guy a 2-way go, and he can beat you outside or beat you back up and under inside. So here, I'm telling them to put their mental weight on their inside foot, and we want to explode back with a kick set, okay? We want to keep our hips square. If you step on the board, you're opening your hips and you're getting turned too much. So we'll do 1 from the up stance, then we'll do 1 from the down stance. Got to be able to pass protect from both stances. Here we are from a down stance. You can see how he's really pressing off that inside foot. Kicking with the left. Stand square. This is a left tackle. Got his hands up, ready to protect. Carry your weight inside. When you kick, you should see the inside foot dragging the ground. It shouldn't be coming off the ground. The next step in this is what we call offsides rush. Okay, now the guy, sometimes guys will have a wide rusher, and the first thing that they want to do is just open up and turn to the guy. When you do that, like I said, you can get beat inside or outside. So now we're learning how to explode back, keeping our hips square. We strike the guy. Again, staying square. Carrying your weight inside, not just opening up to the guy. Carry your weight inside. We'll do that from the up stance, then we'll come back and do it from the down. Explode back. Don't raise up out of your hips. Stay low. Bend, keep your knees bent. To really explode back, I want to try to get them to punch the outside number of the defender. Now the defender, he puts his toe on the line where our toes are. Okay, he's got his hand about a foot behind the guy's outside number, and he's just trying to snatch the shoulder pad and clear himself. So when I give the command to go, defender, you try to grab his back number and clear your hips, just like a defensive lineman would do. Now, what we do here is I want the defender to go up about 3 steps, and then he's going to come back under. He's countering. Now, we got to explode back. He comes back underneath. We punch the inside number. And so we go from a kick back to a post set. Kick set, back to a post set. Striking the inside number now. Strike. You see his hand placement better here. Hands inside and win. Staying on balance.